Okay, my loves, can I move this down? Getting all the cameras like perfectly aligned. Is that better? That's better. Okay, so today we are going to be styling my hair. Yay! And I have new products lately. Okay, so a couple things. I have new products and I have been using a deep treatment in my hair, and it's been an upgrade to say the least, because if you've been joining my lives lately, you might have heard me mention that I've been struggling a little bit with the transition to winter with my hair. My hair has been very, very dry, I guess is the word. It was lacking hydration and it was probably lacking moisture as well. A lot of lacking moisture for sure. And my hair has also changed. I have developed a section right here at my crown that is slightly more coarse than it has ever been in the past. Hello. And so that is new. I'm learning how to work with that on my own head. It changes how the hair clumps. If you've ever worked with coarse hair, sometimes it can be difficult to get coarse hair to clump together. And it needed different products. It needs different products, or like a different combination of products than my hair did previously. So with that said, with the change in seasons, and this is true for so many people, I needed to start using a deep treatment to really get my hair back to a place where it wasn't by day 2 just so dry. So I introduced Perfect Hair Day hair mask. And honestly, I've been using it like once a week to try and get ahead of things. What's the difference of products needed for coarse hair? So it's gonna depend on the head of hair, and it's gonna depend on the porosity of the coarse hair. So I have, and just to be clear, I wouldn't necessarily describe this patch of hair that I have as super coarse. It is coarser than it was previously. So I'm adapting. Everything is a range, right? When I'm working with very coarse hair in the salon, that can sometimes be accommodated or accompanied by like lower, being resistant or lower porosity. And so that has its own kind of set of, things to work with. In this case for me, what it meant is I needed to really amp up my treatments. I needed to amp up like the moisture that I had in my wash days. And that meant using a hair mask. I also decided to kind of switch up the products I was using. I really just needed to experiment a little bit with the products that I was using to make sure that I was using products that were going to help me get clumping power. I find mousses can really help with bringing the hair together because they can be a little bit heavier. It's funny, like creamy and luscious, and they can help hair to clump sometimes. Not all mousses are made equal, but some of them, like super creams, super mousses, things like that can help hair come together. But not all coarse hair is going to be like that. My hair is like I said, it's not coarse, it's just coarser than it was. In general, coarse hair is going to need a heavier cream base, but hair that is very resistant or low porosity might need a very light leave-in conditioner or something, or like a jelly or something like that first to help it receive moisture or receive product, because otherwise the product will all just sit on top of the hair and won't absorb into the hair. But again, every head of hair is very, very different. So it's hard for me to kind of make general recommendations. And if you are a coarse hair girly out there and you're like, well, that doesn't apply to me, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have low porosity coarse hair, and I agree. I just learned I need more moisture, and it's weird. I can't do lighter stuff because I have low porosity. Yes, so low porosity hair often can really benefit from like something very, very light as the first step. But if your hair is coarse, you're probably gonna have to layer something heavier on top afterwards to help it like come together and stay on the hair and clump if that's your goal. So again, like I don't know your curl pattern, I don't know the state or of your hair, the health of your hair. So like there's so many factors at play here. But like a generic example that I might use on somebody's coarse hair, if certain factors were at play, might be like let's take Inner Sense as a line. Sweet Spirit leave-in conditioner. It's a very watery, light leave-in conditioner that's gonna help the hair start to receive moisture. Then I might go in with like Quiet Calm Curl Control, which is a curl cream that has a little bit of weight to it. And then I might go in with their I Create Hold gel, which is a heavier gel. Okay, TikTok, let me know if you're having glitching issues. I just got a warning about my memory on TikTok. So hopefully it doesn't start glitching on me. But anyway, so like that might be a layering of product for some heads of coarse hair. I'm not saying that's gonna work for you just because you have coarse hair. There's a lot more factors at play than just whether or not you have coarse hair. But that leave-in conditioner might help your hair receive moisture if your hair is low porosity. The curl cream is going to be heavy enough to help the hair clump, and then the I Create Hold is going to give you that longevity, right? Okay, so let us start getting into it. So I'm going to start applying my product. The audio is being affected. It might be my Wi-Fi. Is TikTok frozen? I don't know. Am I still frozen? You're having problems too, eh? Oh, it's working perfectly for you? That's not the phone. Instagram, because you guys are on Instagram. It shouldn't be an issue on yours, I don't think, because everything's working fine for you. Okay, yeah, it must be the individual accounts you guys are on, because it's not that phone that I was talking about. That phone technically should be fine. You're fine on TikTok. Okay, awesome. We're just gonna keep going. Okay, so I shampooed. I actually clarified my hair today. I used Hard Water Wellness by Malibu Sea because I did a blowout recently. I was just trying out a new blow dryer, so you're going to see some content coming out for that recently. Just reviewing a new blow dryer. So I did a blowout on my hair, and I used a product with silicones, so I just wanted to clarify my hair. I also have hard water, so I do it periodically anyways. I clarified, and then after that I did the deep treatment that I've been doing about once a week, and it has really, you don't always have to do deep hair masks once a week, but if your hair is in a has gotten ahead of itself, it's not happy with you, it's nice to do a treatment once a week until you kind of get back to a better state, and then you can switch to like once a month. And once a month tends to be like a maintenance state. So then I'm back to, like, I'd say in about 2 weeks, I'm gonna switch to once a month with my Perfect Hair Day Living Proof. This is a weightless hair mask, so it's great for hair that is easily weighed down. It's great for my fine hair girlies or people. And it is also, it has moisture, it has strengthening properties, really, really nice living proof Perfect Hair Day hair mask. Okay, so now I'm gonna start applying my products. My hair has already, my porosity has really changed. It is much higher porosity than it used to be. I still wouldn't describe my hair as high porosity. My hair still takes a very long time to dry. I would say like it probably takes 4 to 5 hours to air dry with no product in it. Would probably take 8 hours with product in it. Believe it or not, that is still kind of in the medium range of porosity, even leaning towards higher porosity. So anyone out there who's like, my hair takes forever to dry, it takes 2 or 3 hours to dry, that is very fast. It's just context. If you don't know other heads of hair, you might not realize that. Can I use a clarifying shampoo every time I wash my hair? Somebody's asking that. It depends on the clarifying shampoo. Not all clarifying shampoos are the same. And it depends how often you wash your hair. The Hard Water Wellness Clarifying Shampoo by Malibu Sea is not meant to be used every time you wash your hair. It's quite cleansing. It's more meant to be used once a month, every kind of 3 to 4 times you wash your hair. And also, why are you clarifying every single time you wash your hair? I guess that would be my question. Most of us don't need to. Like, unless you're constantly using silicones in your hair, constantly using drugstore products, you're drying out your hair quite a bit. Most of us can get away with using a sulfate-free shampoo in between wash days. Now, if you're a fine hair girly whose hair gets greasy really quickly in between wash days, you might want to use a sulfate shampoo. That's fine. You might find you have better success with that. If you're using a sulfate shampoo, I generally recommend to go with a better quality sulfate shampoo, and I would generally recommend to still avoid sodium lauryl sulfate. There are other sulfates that you can use. Okay, but yeah, like most of us, there are clarifying shampoos that can be used like once a week, like swimmer's wellness or whatever it's called. That is meant for professional swimmers, or like not professional swimmers, but people who swim in chlorine all the time. And that one's meant for more frequent use. But most clarifying shampoos aren't intended for consistent use every time you wash your hair. Also, you should typically use a hair mask after you use a clarifying shampoo because it raises all your cuticles on your hair strand. And that's a perfect time. Like, your hair is clean, it's stripped of any buildup. Put something in there, treat your hair during that time, and then seal. If it's just a hair mask, you might even want to condition afterwards. I sometimes like to, if it's not specifically a moisture mask. When do you brush? My hair so often gets gnarly. I actually dry brush before I wash my hair if it's feeling very tangled. I know that's controversial. Anyone who says you should never dry brush curly hair, I disagree in the sense that I think it's different depending on the head of hair. It just is. So I don't think there is a blanket rule about when you should brush your hair. I think you should make a judgment call based on the head of hair. There is some hair that gets so tangled so easily that you need to be brushing at a lot of different steps during your wash day. You can't just detangle one time. Otherwise your hair will be so tangled. So you need to detangle before you shampoo. You need to detangle during the shampoo step. You need to detangle during the condition or the deep condition step. And then you might need to detangle again after you add your curl cream or something like that. You might need to detangle very gently, just even with your fingers, or like a very gentle detangling comb at each of those steps. Otherwise your hair will just be in massive knots. Not everybody's hair is like that, but there is hair like that out there. And if you haven't ever dealt with hair like that, then don't be going out there saying no one should ever you don't know. You haven't worked with all hair types. But if your hair doesn't get that tangled, then yeah, maybe just detangle with deep conditioner in your hair. That can be a nice time to detangle. It's very gentle on the hair. Just use your fingers or like a detangling brush at that time. Or you can just dry detangle before you shampoo and conditioner, and maybe also detangle right when you get out of the shower or with conditioner in your hair. Some people just like to detangle at those steps. My hair so often gets gnarly that I feel the need to brush, but my hair significantly changes shape if you don't brush it in the shower. Yeah, detangle whenever you feel like you need to detangle, but of course if you detangle dry hair, you're gonna lose the curl's shape depending on how loose your curl is. So you might need to re-wet the hair, or add a smoothing balm. If it's a really loose curl or loose wave that you have, you might be able to get away with adding a smoothing balm and turning it into like a little, what I call a princess wave. I hope that helps, guys. Oh, Flora Victoria. So if you're using Cantu and your hair gets greasy very fast, Cantu is very heavy products. I would maybe switch away from Cantu. That would be my recommendation. Rather than clarifying all the time. You're not doing your hair any favors. I unfortunately don't use a lot of drugstore products, but and I don't know much about your hair, so I wouldn't be able to recommend an alternative. But I can tell you Shea Moisture and Cantu are two of the, first of all, heaviest products. So if your hair's getting greasy fast, you shouldn't be using either of those product lines. What can you do to get your curls to last? I just made a reel about this. Is it also posted to TikTok? Maybe not. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but definitely follow me on Instagram, or at least check me out on Instagram. And there's a reel, I think my most recent reel, or in my last few reels, there's a video about exactly that. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just gonna re-wet my hair. So the very first thing you want to do, I actually recommend, oh, 1 second. I actually recommend that you put your styling products right in the shower, and that you start applying your products as soon as you rinse out your conditioner. That's gonna save you the most time, okay? The first product, or my base product, most people need a base product and a topper product. My base product today is gonna be a blowout cream. I'm using a blowout cream instead of a curl cream. I could use a lightweight curl cream instead. This blowout cream I really like. It's got built-in heat protectant. It's very lightweight. It's essentially doing the same thing as a curl cream. It's adding moisture, a little bit of protein to my hair, heat protection. It's just very lightweight. The only thing that some curl creams might do that this isn't gonna do is have curl enhancing properties. Not all curl creams have curl enhancing properties, some do. So I could seek out a curl cream that has curl enhancing properties for my hair, but I'm not. Instead, I'm using a blowout cream, okay? So that's one option of something that you could use for a base product. Can you specify when you do the clumping for your coarser parts, please? I want to take notes. Yeah, totally. Okay, so I'm putting the blowout cream all the way through, and I'm definitely being mindful of making sure that I get cream, or enough of the blowout cream, in this area here, which, as I mentioned earlier, has become slightly more coarse. First of all, because I often miss applying product to my crown, just in general, but also because it's going to help that area to clump. And not only has that section become a little bit coarser, it has also thinned a little bit. I wonder if I'm starting to go gray there. That would make sense for the change in texture. That's my theory. I'm gonna add a little bit more cream. I'm in my 30s and I don't think I have a single gray hair. So it would make sense if that was starting to happen. Now, I like to because this is a very lightweight curl cream, blowout cream. The thing about blowout creams is they're meant to be used on hair that's gonna be worn straight, so they don't get heavy or greasy typically. Yeah, your grays are wild and they don't fall in the same curl as the rest. Exactly, and that's what's starting to happen to me with this section that has changed texture on my head. So I'm like, are you about to change color on me? Kind of exciting. We're gonna find out. Okay, so we've added a good amount of blowout cream. The next product, I use two toppers in tandem with one another. The first one is the soft defining mousse, and this product I really use because it helps my hair to clump really beautifully. And I use quite a bit of it. I would say like a clementine amount. I don't even think that was enough. And this isn't so much a volumizing mousse as it is like a defining mousse. So So there's different types of mousses out there that are going to play different roles, and you want to pay attention to the mousse, like what the mousse that you have is supposed to do. So for example, when I was doing a blowout on my hair the other day, I was using a volumizing mousse at my roots, and today I am using a soft defining mousse that is specifically going to kind of create a soft cast on my hair and is going to add soft definition. Okay. So I find mousses really help my hair to clump very nicely and come together. Okay, so we've added that, and now for my final topper, this product I add to the mousse. If I just use the mousse on its own, which I totally could do, I wouldn't get as much longevity just because mousses, first of all, have a flat finish. They don't have a shiny finish, which there's nothing wrong with that. Some people's hair naturally has more of a cotton candy finish to it. My hair naturally has more of a silky finish or a shiny finish, so I like to pair that with products that have more of a shiny finish. So my next product is going to be you know what's so funny? I'm so used to giving that spiel because I'm used to using gels, but the next product I'm using, I actually don't know if it does have a shiny finish. I think it does. It's the I Create Definition Styling Foam by Inner Sense. Anyways, all that being said, it is a styling foam. However, it is unlike any other foam I have ever used. Foams usually are volumizing, okay? Maybe they have very soft hold, but they usually have almost no hold. This foam, on the other hand, is very strong hold and less is more. So it's Inner Sense, I Create Definition, and man does it do what it says on the tin. It creates definition in your hair and hold and longevity. So if I used the mousse to help my hair clump, to give me a little bit of definition and body that wasn't weighed down. I'm using I Create Definition on top of it to give me more hold, but again, still very lightweight. Now, you can definitely overdo it with this product. Some people only need 1.5 pumps on their whole head, if you can believe it. That's how strong hold this product is. So if you've ever tried I Create Definition and you couldn't break the cast afterwards, it was just so crunchy or so stiff, you used too much of it. And that's not uncommon. If there's anything I've heard people complain about it, they're like, I didn't like it, I couldn't break the cast. But that has happened to me with this product, but it's because I used too much. So, on my hair, I can typically use about 6 pumps. Now, my hair can handle a lot of product. And again, one of the things I love about this foam is it really, when I use it over top of a foam, glides beautifully over the hair. And helps it all clump together. The other thing I really like about using a very lightweight blowout cream, a mousse, and then a foam on my hair, or at least this particular foam, is my hair dries a lot faster because I'm not using a gel. So most people are gonna use a curl cream and a gel, and that's gonna be perfectly sufficient, especially if you're just getting started and you don't know what products to use on your hair. If you are I'm struggling too much with that clip because my hands are slippery. If you are just getting started, I do have a video that I just posted about choosing your products, and it really breaks down about like how to determine what products you might need and how to choose your products. And it should be on Instagram and TikTok, although I made a different version of the video for Instagram that I made on TikTok, so you can go check it out on both if you want to see both versions of the video. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit more of the eye create definition today than I usually do. So we're gonna see if I struggle to break the cast or if it plays nice in the sandbox. Hopefully it's okay. So the one thing about the eye create definition by InnerSense is I really find you need to apply it in sections, whereas gel, you can kind of just rake it through your whole head of hair. This product, because it disappears so quickly into the hair, because it's such a light, like a foam, it just like, if you put it, like, it's just gonna disappear into the hair. I don't know if, like, it'll all go into one section. So it won't evenly distribute if you don't apply it in sections. That's my hot take. So it can take a little bit longer to apply. Do you have tips on finding, choosing a wavy stylist? I'm looking for a specialist for the first time. I've been cutting my hair for 4 years. If you're looking for somebody with specialty training, you could look. Diva Curl actually lists on their website people who have Diva Curl training. Also Instagram, everybody's profile is, or like their profile is gonna be their portfolio, right? So I would definitely look on Instagram. I find it's easier, like more hairstylists are going to use Instagram as a portfolio than TikTok these days, although that is starting to change. Do you recommend applying mousse or gel first? Mousse first, foam second, typically. It's not like, different people might give you a different opinion on that. There's more than one right way to do it. You can experiment and see what your hair likes best. Okay, so now that I have applied my products, I go in and I re-wet my hair again because that took me a long time. That took me like 10 minutes to apply my products. Now, I think if there's one thing that people are often surprised about when they come into the salon to see me, it's how wet I want their hair to be before I get to my styling step. And this is gonna make it so much easier for your hair to clump. Are there exceptions to having very, very wet hair during the styling step? Yes, absolutely. I would say if you have very loose waves, like almost wavy hair, and you like lots and lots of volume, you're not really going for definition, you're going for a lot of volume, you don't need to have your hair soaking wet if you don't want to. The point of having your hair soaking wet is to control frizz and get definition. So if that's not your goal, it's okay to take some water out. But if you want to control frizz and get more definition, chances are, hey mom, chances are you're going to want to have your hair soaking wet during the styling step. When I used to use gel, used to literally put my head back under the faucet just really quickly. But now that I use foam, I don't like to do that because I feel like I'm gonna rinse out all the foam. It's just not heavy enough. Gel has kind of like moisture grabbing properties, but I feel like foam is gonna get rinsed out too easily. Okay, so now I'm going to do a technique called the rake and shake method. Here's my diamond brush. So basically I'm gonna work through my hair section by section to smooth the frizz and help the hair to clump. So I take my first section. Here, I'll let you guys kind of see what I'm doing. I brush through with a diamond brush. I rake my fingers through, and I just give it a little shake to revive the curl. And immediately I can see it came out stringy, just a little bit stringy. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water. There we go, and that helped it come together a little bit. And the other side came out fine. And then I move to the next section. So I really only do the bottom sections as a full row, and then I start just letting down the section that I'm working with at a time. Otherwise I kind of lose track of what I've done and what I haven't done. Okay, so I brush through with a diamond brush, I rake my fingers through, I give it a little shake to reactivate, and then I move to the next section. This looks more or less like my next section. Okay, I brush with the diamond brush to smooth any wet frizz, and then I'm going to start raking through with my fingers. Give it a little shake to reactivate the curl, and then I go to my last section. And my very last section, brush through with the diamond brush to smooth any wet frizz. Rake through with my fingers, and see, I'm holding at the top to prevent it from getting stringy vertically, okay? Give it a little shake to reactivate the curl. And you can see it's really the water that's helping it clump. Now, if it's coming out stringy, and just so you know, this technique is going to be easier on some heads of hair than it is on others. Some people are going to do this for the first time and it's going to be easy because their hair just clumps really beautifully. And then some people are going to do this for the first time and it is going to be very challenging. Now, whoever was asking me about when I'm getting to the coarser section, I'm just about to get to the coarser section here. If you are struggling and it is not coming together, the first thing is your hair needs to be wetter. You need more water. The second thing is it could be the products. If you're literally like taking a faucet, pouring water over the section with a faucet, not even a spray bottle, and even when you do that, it's not coming together, you might need more of a cream product or a heavier cream product, okay, under your gel or whatever it is that you're using. Okay, so I brush through with my diamond brush. Ooh. See, that was too big of a section. I can feel, you want the sections to be roughly the width of your knuckles. So, I'm gonna pull through, give her a little shake, let it fall. Okay, then I'm gonna take the next section. Again, just brush it through. Now here I know that it has a tendency to get a little bit stringy, so I'm just going to And if there's areas of your head that you know are more temperamental, like you know every time you're done styling, it's problematic, you can just finger curl that section. If the last 3 times you styled your hair, that one section came out stringy or didn't work, just finger curl that section. Okay, so I just finger curled 2 pieces. They also were kind of making my section a bit too big. There we go. To the extent that it's possible, you also want to try and make each of the clumps around the same size. I know that can be kind of tricky because you have to do the back of your head without being able to really see what you're doing, but try and go by feel. And when I say you want the sections to be about the same size, what I mean is the same amount of hair in each section, okay? The other thing, so by the way, this technique is called the rake and shake method. The purpose of this technique is to add definition and to create larger curl clumps so that you get more longevity out of your style. The rake and shake method is really targeted for, so somebody said, ain't no way I'm gonna be getting up in the morning and going to work. So the idea behind doing this is that you would only have to do it once, maybe twice a week. Not that you would do it every single day. Nobody would do this if they had to do this every day. The idea behind doing this is that you get more longevity out of your style so you don't have to restyle your hair every single day, and hopefully you get more, you're able to just do a very simple refresh as opposed to having to fully re-wet your hair every single morning. So that's the idea behind doing something like the rake and shake method. Now, it is particular, yes, I know that, but there's no way I would get up and do every strand like that. Yeah, that's fine, you don't have to. This technique is particularly, yeah, I know, Scruffy. This technique is particularly helpful for transitioning hair. What I mean by transitioning is hair that is currently unhealthy or hair that is, maybe you're growing out heat damage or something like that. Once your hair is extremely healthy, you may still choose to do this either on your whole head or maybe just on the front section or top section of your head, depending on the head of hair. Or you might find that once your hair is super healthy, you are able to get away with a simpler routine. It just depends on the head of hair. A lot of our clients at the salon find that this technique is very helpful to have in their kind of arsenal for the beginning when their hair is transitioning. But that the longer that they take care of their hair, the less they need it, and they use this as a piece of their routine. So maybe they will use this like at the front sections of their hair or along their part line or on areas of their hair that they know are stubborn. Or they might use this when they go to weddings or when they're like about to go on vacation, they want their hair to last a little bit longer, things like that. So this is like a really helpful tool. And then there are other people whose hair it's going to need the rake and shake method because their hair really struggles with frizz, or it just, it depends on the head of hair. But I'm very glad it's me that your hair sounds like it doesn't need it. My hair is shoulder length and thick and tends to puff out. Can you recommend products that would weigh it down so it doesn't shrink up so much? I don't like to recommend products in my lives. I don't know enough about your hair to be able to do that. I would say a lot of this is going to come down to styling as well as product selection. But one of the things you're probably going to want is a gel, as well as you're going to want a curl cream and a gel for sure. But no, I don't like to recommend products. Like I don't know enough about your hair. And even if you did give me information about your hair, like I'd have to touch and feel your hair to be able to make a good recommendation. So guys, I don't know if you can see that, but my hair is starting to get a little bit stringy at the ends. And I'm just going to literally stick my hand under the faucet and then rebrush it with the Denman brush. And this section's just being stubborn. What salon do I work at? I work at Curlology in Carp, Ontario, which is in Ottawa. There we go. Stubborn section. Okay, so we're back to one of those coarser sections that I was talking about in my head. So first thing I'm doing is making sure that it's soaking wet. Then I'm brushing through with my Denman brush. I'm going to rake my fingers through. Remember the rake and shake method. Then I'm just going to give it a little shake. Now, the thing is, because this is one of these coarse sections that I've been really struggling with, you could just do what I just did, and that's normally how I would style the back of my head. But because I've been struggling so much with the back of my head lately, I've actually been, and I also have had a change in density at the back of my head, so I like to create very small little twists at the back of my head. Your dream is to have you teach me how to style, it's someone said, my dream is to have you teach me how to style my hair. Come to Ottawa and book with me. Where do you live? I would love to teach you. Okay. Canadian vibes. Any Canadians in here? I've been watching you since I started my curly hair journey. Oh, I love that. Okay. So now we're at the top of my head. Well, not quite actually. I've got one more little section right here. So I take a little bit more time, guys, I know, to do my styling step than most people are gonna take, just so you know. Tell us salons in each state in the US you recommend. Oh, I don't know salons in each state. I wouldn't be able to, I'm Canadian. I wish, sorry, I'm not that helpful. Megan, I can't wait to have you in the salon. Oh, Katie. Oh, yeah. I wish I could too. What was I just gonna say? Oh yeah, I was saying I take more time during the styling step than most people are gonna take. The reason for that, honestly, is because I'm a stylist. I work in a curly hair salon. I wouldn't take this much time if I wasn't gonna be working in a salon for the next few days. So the better my results are today, the less time I'm gonna have to spend refreshing my hair, because I work today in the salon, I work tomorrow in the salon, I work the next day in the salon. So like I need to have basically day one curl results for today, tomorrow, and Friday. So if I can get really great longevity out of my results from today, then I'm only gonna have to spend like 10-15 minutes on my hair tomorrow and Friday morning. So for me, it's worth it to spend an extra 20 minutes on my hair in the morning today, in order to save me having to spend 45 minutes on my hair tomorrow morning and 45 minutes on my hair the next morning, right? So for me, I'm gonna spend a little bit more time. Very few people are gonna spend this much time on their styling step, but it can be helpful, I think, for anybody to see like what the more elaborate steps look like. Most people are just gonna very quickly rake and shake their whole head, and that should take about 10 minutes for most people, once you kind of really nail it. Or they're going to take their absolutely soaking wet hair after they have applied their products, scrunch, and then just rake and shake maybe the top and front. Okay, this is my coarsest section. Oh my God! Christina, you're coming back! I'm excited. Oh, I'm glad to hear that I have some Canadians that are joining these morning lives. Okay, what things should you look for when you're picking a curly salon? That's a good question. So, I mean, I would want to, one of the first things I would want to know is, are they going to offer education, or are they just offering you a cut? That's like, for me, one of the biggest things, because I think as much, and this is not something everyone's looking for, but I think it's something everyone should be looking for. Even if you think you have nailed your styling already, what I find is a lot of the times, even if you've nailed your styling, you may still have a surprising amount of questions about the health of your hair, or once you see a curl specialist or a curly hairstylist start working on your hair and you see what they're doing, you're probably going to have more questions than you realize. And if they offer education as part of your first time appointment, there's going to be more time allotted in the appointment for that. And the other thing is, there may be an opportunity for like you to really learn how to do what they're doing, so you can go home and recreate what they've done. So I think education is a really key part of a curly hair salon. And it's not one that all curly hair salons offer, although a lot of them do. Okay, so yes, all of the product is already in my hair. The products that I have so far in my hair are a blowout cream by Mela and Cara. It's just called Exquisite Blowout Cream. And then I did the Dad Vital Curl Soft Defining Mousse. And then I create Definition by Inner Sense. And then I'm just taking my sweet time today. Oh my God, I need to start blow drying my hair. But as I was saying earlier, like I'm styling my hair for 3 days in the salon. You definitely don't need to spend this much time styling your hair. When I was doing my hair for the Christmas party the other day, I just scrunched my hair absolutely soaking wet and went straight into diffusing. Now, once your hair is healthy, that is definitely a routine that you can do. The one thing that I do find about that routine is a lot of people can complain that the results can be a bit unpredictable. The other thing I find is, this is going to depend from head to head, like from one head of hair to the next, is I personally don't get great longevity out of the style when I do that, if I just scrunch my hair soaking wet. So when I do that, if I kind of skip this step, I will scrunch my hair soaking wet, and then I will kind of take the hair at the middle top of my head, and I will just style that. So I will still kind of do like a brush curl section, or a finger curl section, or a rake and shake, kind of something like that, just to give me a bit more predictability in the outcome. Now, in particular for me, the top section of my hair is the least wavy or curly section of my head. And so I tend to get the most, what I'll call like wonky curls in that area. Now everyone's gonna have a different part of their head that is that area of the head for them. But so even if I am basically doing a very fast routine, I will take about 5 minutes just to do basically what I'm doing right now, which is a rake and shake or a finger styling just at the top of my head. And that gives me that predictability so I can get a little bit more longevity out of the style. And that's going to be the difference maker for me between getting like maybe 1 or 2 days out of the style and having to really have my hair up in like a messy bun by day 2. Okay, we're almost done one side. Yay! The top section of your hair is pretty much straight. Yeah, so I mean, I would definitely recommend getting some pretty dramatic layering then. It depends how thin your hair is actually. If your hair is very fine and thin, you probably can't handle a lot of layering. But yeah, talk to your hairstylist about it. Your hairstylist should be able to give you a haircut that helps like work with that. And the rake and shake method can really help give the hair the appearance that it has a more even curl pattern. Oop. And also blow drying your hair. There we go. Oops. Okay, almost done, and then we can start diffusing. You don't have a stylist right now. Well, when you find a stylist again. Okay. Now, one thing to note, I'm doing a couple of brush curls along the top of my head. You'll notice I'm switching between finger curls and brush curls. The difference that I find is a brush curl is going to give me a slightly chunkier, smoother curl because when you do a brush curl, it's brushing through and smoothing the frizz at the same time. So in my coarser sections there, I'll do a brush curl. And you'll notice I didn't do a brush curl anywhere except for this very top layer of my hair. The reason for that is I don't like to do too many brush curls because there's definitely a trade-off. Goodbye, thank you for joining. I don't like to do too many brush curls because there's definitely a trade-off between volume and definition here. Brush curls are going to kill your volume, but I do like to do them on this very top layer of my head because frankly it helps turn my S waves on this top layer here into spirals. So it gives my hair the appearance that it's a little bit curlier. So that's one of the reasons I like to do brush curls. Here it also, the underneath of my hair is much more spirally than the top section. So by doing this, it helps to kind of even out my curl pattern or give it the appearance that it's slightly more even. Now, whatever size ringlet or spiral you make, that's the size it's going to keep returning to. So I'm warning you right now, don't make like 5 giant brush curls in your entire head. They're going to keep reforming. Okay. Now I don't... Okay, I just added a little bit of water before I like kind of scrunch the hair to encourage the curl. My hair wasn't quite wet enough towards the end during the styling step there, which might affect how frizzy my hair turns out, but we are running out of time, so now I'm going to flip my hair over and do a micro plop. So micro plopping is an alternative to doing a full like t-shirt plop. Where you like put your hair up in a t-shirt and leave it like that for 15 minutes. I don't have time for that in the morning, so I'm literally going to flip my hair upside down. I start by just scrunching my hair to really press the product into my hair. This is going to encourage the curl. And then I'm going to take a t-shirt towel, okay? And now I'm going to do the same thing. You'll notice I'm not over scrunching. Your hair is very, very fragile when it's wet, so if you over scrunch, you're going to start to create frizz. So you can just be very, very gentle with your hair. Now, if your hair is incredibly prone to frizz, which can happen with some of my, silver-haired foxes out there, and especially if you're very prone to frizz and you're not trying to encourage your curl, you don't have to micro plop. You can just go straight into drying your hair, but your hair is going to take a lot longer to dry. But if you have very high porosity hair, your hair dries really quickly, you can skip this step altogether and just go straight into, diffusing, air drying, however you like to dry your hair. But this is going to encourage the curl. And it's going to remove some of the excess water from my hair so that we're not here all day. So, this is what we're left with. Now it's time to start drying my hair. See if we can find a diffuser. Here it is. Is it plugged in? Come here. Come here. Okay, I'm using a Life-In diffuser. Okay, there's two main diffusing techniques. Now, if you've never diffused your hair before, or if you're somebody who says, I can't diffuse my hair just gets frizzy when I diffuse it, it probably has to do with the technique you're using when you're diffusing your hair. Everybody can diffuse their hair. Trust me, I'm a curly hairstylist. I can diffuse anyone's hair without it getting frizzy. It's all about technique. There's two main diffusing techniques. One of them is pixie diffusing. One of them is hover diffusing. Hover diffusing is going to create the least amount of frizz, but it won't encourage your curl. Pixie diffusing is going to encourage your curl, but it does have the potential to create a little bit more frizz. So you're going to cocktail, yeah, exactly. You're going to cocktail those two techniques together. There are also other techniques. However, they're typically used a little bit more for like type 4 hair. And because I don't have type 4 hair, we're not going to talk about those in today's live. Okay? So the first technique is hover diffusing. You literally are going to hover the diffuser around the hair. Now, depending on the head of hair, it's up to you how long you do this for. If you really have struggled in the past with diffusing, because your hair always gets really, really frizzy, poofy, stringy when you diffuse, try hover diffusing first. Some people will tell you, you need to air dry for at least 15 minutes before you can start diffusing. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that. You can hover diffuse first. I put my diffuser on high heat when I'm hover diffusing because by the time the airflow touches my hair, it's not going to be a high heat anymore. But if you're more comfortable, you can use a medium heat for this. Okay? So the idea here is we are allowing the cast to start to set. The cast is that stiffness or crunchiness that we get from using products that contain holes. That stiffness or that crunchiness is not bad. We're going to get rid of it. I'm not going to walk around with stiff, crunchy hair today, don't worry. But the purpose of that stiffness or crunchiness is to protect your hair from frizz during the drying process, because our hair, when it's wet, is so fragile and prone to getting frizzy. So by using products that contain holes, they create a cast on wet hair before the hair is totally dry, and therefore the hair is going to be protected from frizz during the drying process. Hover diffusing, holding the diffuser 8 to 10 centimeters away from the hair is going to allow that cast to start to set. Now, how long you hover diffuse for depends on how prone to frizz your hair is, but remember, hover diffusing is not going to encourage your curl. Now, I really want to encourage my curl, so now I'm going to switch to pixie diffusing. So you would lower the heat for this step. I'm actually going to switch my Life-In blow dryer to the heat cycling setting, where it's going to automatically rotate between a low and a high heat setting. I'm going to flip my hair upside down, and I'm going to start pixie diffusing. Lower all of the hair into the bowl of the diffuser, and now we want to hold position. The biggest mistake I see people making with pixie diffusing is they cut the hair, 3 seconds later they cup it in a different position, 4 seconds later they cup it in a different position, and they keep moving. And that is going to create frizz, it's going to create stringiness, because your hair is so fragile still, it's so wet, okay? If you love big, huge hair, you don't mind a little bit of frizz, you don't mind stringiness, you just love 80s curls, then it's not a mistake to do that. You can do that, it's fine. But if you like definition, if you like large curl clumps, you cannot move the diffuser that much, okay? You need to slow down. You need to hold positions for longer. On my hair, especially when the hair is soaking wet, I like to hold positions for quite a long time. As the hair gets more dry, I'm going to move the diffuser a little bit more frequently. Now, how long you hold the diffuser in a position is going to depend on how quickly your hair dries. If you diffuse your hair for 15 minutes and your hair is dry, you might only hold petite diffusing positions for 8 seconds, because you don't want the section to be 100% dry before you move the diffuser. I usually turn the diffuser off, then put my hair in the diffuser, and then turn it on again. And I actually recommend that. When I'm teaching clients in the salon how to pixie diffuse, I recommend that they turn it off before they change positions, because it creates less frizz, so that the hair doesn't blow all over the place. This diffuser is quite a good quality diffuser. The hair doesn't really blow all over the place when I move it, so I don't worry about it. But if you have a less expensive diffuser and you find when you move positions, the hair kind of blows all over the place and gets like frizzy, then yes, turn it off before you change positions. Do I do this every day? Absolutely not. I do this about twice a week. What do you do to keep the curl multiple days without having to do this every day? So the first thing is I invest on my wash day. My wash day takes me a while. When I'm not live, it takes me about an hour to do my hair. On this wash day, it takes me about an hour. When I'm about to be in the salon for 3 or 4 days, it takes me about an hour. The other wash day, which is a weekend wash day where I'm a little bit more easygoing, takes me about 45 minutes, including dry time. Can this be achieved with a regular hair dryer? As long as you have a diffuser attachment. You do need a diffuser attachment. Now, I protect my hair at night. I did just make a post, I think it's on Instagram. It might also be on TikTok, but for sure it's on Instagram, about why your curls aren't currently lasting and how to get more longevity out of your style. So if you're currently struggling to get multiple days out of your curls or your wavy hair, you can check out that post on Instagram. It's a reel that I just posted. So you can really see I'm not moving the blow dryer a ton. If your hair takes forever to blow dry, Diva Curl has a spray that cuts blow dry time significantly. They claim it cuts it by 60%, 66%. I don't know if it cuts it by 66%, but it definitely will cut your blow dry time a lot. Like I would say 40% conservatively. It's a spray. You spray it all over your hair before you start diffusing. It's going to make you cough because it's going to dry out your mouth. But it works. It definitely works. Somebody said, what's the best shampoo and conditioner for someone with curly hair over 50? I mean, I can tell you some of my favorite companies are Amika and Living Proof when it comes to shampoos and conditioners. And Intersense has some very nice ones too. Probably Living Proof or Intersense, depending on your hair. You can look into those brands. Okay, so we talked about two different techniques, one of them being cover diffusing and one of them being pixie diffusing, and you're going to cocktail those two techniques together depending on what your goals are. If you're not trying to encourage your curl, you're going to do maybe exclusively hover diffusing because you want to control your frizz, you want your hair to lie very flat, you don't want to encourage your volume maybe. You want to reduce shrinkage, hover diffusing all the way. If your hair dries very quickly and you want to encourage your curl, maybe you exclusively pixie diffuse. You know, especially if your hair is silky and doesn't get frizzy easily. So you're going to decide what is best for you. The diffusing routine is not going to be exactly the same for any two heads of hair, but it's often going to be those two techniques cocktailed together. Up until now today, what we did was on soaking wet hair, I applied my styling products. It was a blowout cream, a mousse, and I Create Definition Foam by Intersense. Then I went through and I did a styling step. Now, it was a lot of different techniques that I did on my hair today. A combination of the rake and shake method, finger curling, and dead and brush curls. Just to add kind of to smooth any wet frizz and add some definition. And then I micro-pop to remove excess water and to encourage the curl. And now we're drying. My salon is located in Ottawa, Canada. So lately, I used to hover diffuse for a lot longer, but lately, I have been, oh God, sorry, Instagram, I've been missing a lot of stuff. Might be a silly question, but are you doing all of this over a towel? Yes, I am doing this over a towel. Air dry versus diffuse. Air drying is not, if you're struggling with volume, try diffusing. Diffusing is going to encourage your curl more. It's going to help you with volume. And if you're struggling with frizz, good diffusing technique will help you with frizz. But if your hair dries very quickly, you're not trying to encourage your curl, and you're not struggling with volume, air drying can be fine. There's nothing wrong with air drying unless you don't like the results you're getting. Exactly. Yeah. Have you heard of the bounce curl define brush? Could you use that instead of the rake and shake method? Yes. It creates smaller clumps than the rake and shake method typically does. That would be my only complaint. Is I find the bounce curl define brush, sometimes on some heads of hair, the sections it creates are too small. But on some heads of hair, that define brush is very, very nice. And I think it's very user-friendly. It creates very nice lift at the top sections. If you're trying to create volume or lift, it's very nice for that. What is the address and name of my salon? It's Curlology in Park. Does diffusing cause heat damage? It has the potential to. I mean, we're applying heat to our hair. So you want to use good quality products that have built-in heat protection, or use a heat protection product. I use a low heat setting when I'm pixie diffusing. And I don't diffuse my hair every single day. But yes, I would say, the one thing I would say is I don't think diffusing and straightening your hair should be clumped together. Straightening your hair is like using a clothing iron on clothes. If you leave that iron in the same spot on your t-shirt too long, it's going to burn right through the t-shirt. Diffusing your hair is more like putting your t-shirt in a tumble dryer. Is it going to burn your t-shirt? It can. Like if your t-shirt, you know, got caught in one spot and was against like the vent for too long, you know, and if you were putting it constantly in the dryer over and over and over again, but it's less likely. If you diffuse, you need to diffuse completely. I would recommend, for best frizz control and best results, to diffuse 100%. But again, it's going to depend on the head of hair. Some people like to diffuse 90% and let it air dry the last little bit. Typically, I find best results are going to be to diffuse all the way. Okay, at this point, I'm not 100% dry, but I like to see how the back of my hair is looking because, like I said, I've been struggling with stringiness right at the back of my hair. Yeah, and this is why I do this every time. Every time it does this. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what I'm looking at. I don't know if you can see, but there's just like one little section right here that's just like a little bit stringy. So to fix that, I literally grab that section It's not bad. It's really not bad. It's this section right here. I don't know if you can tell. I'm literally going to re-wet that section. It happens every time. Every time. And it's that coarser section of my hair. Not, I wouldn't describe it as coarse, but it is coarser than the rest of my hair. And I re-wet it, and it was wanting to split into two sections. So I'm letting it do that. I re-wet it, and I'm letting it be two separate curls. This piece I'm even gonna let be. just be one tiny little curl. And so this is something you can do too at home. Like, just because once you get to that final phase, you can re-wet a section that you're not happy with. You're not married to the final results. And then I just give it a little shake to revive the curl. Okay. Okay, so I've broken it into smaller curl clumps. So instead of it being like one large curl clump that's stringy, it's like now in 4 smaller curl clumps, and hopefully that will look better as a final result. One second. Do you ever use claw clips while drying to give more volume at the top? I have in the past. It works very well. Yeah, I always do my wash day on Wednesdays because Wednesday is my first day in the salon. So it just like makes sense for it to be my first. It just makes sense for it to be like my wash day so that it's like my day one. Okay, so I had that one stringy curl. I'm putting my light in back. So if you didn't see what I was doing there, I was quickly hover diffusing at the back there. And now I'm going to tilt my head back and I'm going to pixie diffuse ever so slightly. So I'm hoping tilting back and pixie diffusing up will give me better results than when I was flipping forward and pixie diffusing. Again, right now we're just trying to fix that stringy section that I was getting at the back. You wash your hair only once a week? No, I wash my hair twice a week. I probably only need to wash my hair about once every 5 to 6 days, but because it's my job, I typically end up having to wash my hair twice a week to create content. The sacrifices we make. And I have to wash my hair every Wednesday for this live. So what do I do to keep my curls overnight? That is a great question. I wear either a silk bonnet or a silk satin bonnet or a scarf. And honestly, you can do a silk pillowcase, satin pillowcase, put your hair up in a willow or a pineapple on your head, like in a silk scrunchie, and then sleep on a pillow, like a silk or satin pillowcase, or sleep with a scarf. So when I hover diffuse on high heat because by the time the heat hits my hair, it's not as hot anymore. If you find the high heat is making your hair frizzy, then just bring it down to like a medium heat. How do you sleep in a silk scarf? I have some old videos that show you how I tie it that you can go check out. Okay, so now I am just finishing the diffusing process. Again, we're back to pixie diffusing. I'm starting to move the diffuser a little bit more frequently because my hair, I would say at this point, is 95% dry. You're welcome. If you find this helpful, guys, I'm a hairstylist. I work out of Ottawa, Canada. I work in a curly hair salon called Curlology. So feel free to hit the follow button. I go live every single Wednesday with a full, at 7:15, with a full hair routine. I also post a lot of like tips and tricks for how to take care of your wavy or curly hair. I also post a lot of transformations in the salon about, yeah, like what I'm doing with my clients in the salon. Yeah, so if you think that's something you find interesting or helpful, you can hit the follow button, or you can just like this live. That also really helps me out. If you're interested in booking, I don't have online booking right now, but you can send me a DM. On Instagram is where I do most of my booking. You can send me a DM on TikTok as well. I find it easier to DM on Instagram, but you can DM me on TikTok too. You're from Europe? Yeah, I'm sure there's some great curl specialists in Europe. What is micro popping? It's literally taking a t-shirt and just scrunching your hair very gently to remove the excess water. Just gently. Don't overdo it though. A lot of people go and they like create a lot of frizz. Okay, look at this gorgeous cast. High Grade Definition creates a very strong cast. I used more of the product today than I usually use. But it's like, this was like maybe 7 pumps, which is a lot. On my hair, I could get away with 5 pumps, but I wanted to get more hold and longevity. I'm so glad you're excited for your next wash day. Oh my God, guys. Also, I love when you guys send me before and afters if you find my tips have helped you. And if you're okay with me sharing them to my stories, you can always let me know. Okay, let's see how the back is looking now. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, I may have made it the clumps too small, but we're gonna work with it at this point. It's fine, it's good enough. Anyways, so this is what we're working with now. I think once I break the cast, it's gonna be fine. I'm being a perfectionist. Okay, so now I'm gonna break the cast and I'm gonna finish diffusing my hair. So to break the cast, I don't use a hair oil to break the cast, although sometimes I use a little bit of a smoothing balm. Oh, my hair's still wet in the front. Okay. Aw, thanks, Marianne. Marianne says you've helped so much with my hair. So as I'm starting to break the cast, anywhere that I feel, okay, so I was right earlier when I said the Intersense I Create Definition has a shiny finish. You get a knotted nest in the middle of my head by day 3. What causes this? My first question is, are you sleeping with your hair in like a bonnet or a silk scarf, something like that? Because silk or satin is really going to help with less friction. So that's my first question for you. If you are, you could also try putting it in a silk scrunchie or something like that on inside the silk bonnet to even create less movement at night. Oh my god, it looks so good. My hair loves this product combination. But the fact that your hair is so prone to getting tangled is telling us something probably about the health of your hair, okay? Hair that's very tangled, that can sometimes be a sign that your hair has too much protein, but not always. I would also venture to wonder, is your hair lightened? Have you bleached your hair in the past? Is it damaged in some way? Because hair that is very high porosity, because it's been damaged, the cuticles are all raised, and that causes them to sometimes Velcro together because there's so much breakage. If that's the case, then you just want to focus on the health of your hair. You want to do some treatment masks probably. I'm late to this, but what is the product you're using? I'm struggling to find what works for fine, I think you're saying for fine hair. The products I use today, I wouldn't necessarily use on fine hair. I don't have fine hair. But the products that I use today are Exquisite Blowout Cream by Mela and Cara. And then Vitacurl Soft Defining Mousse. And then I Create Definition by Innersense. So as I scrunch the hair, at this point, I'm being like a little bit rougher with the hair because I want to start building the volume a little bit. So up until now in my routine, I do everything I can to just control frizz and create definition. But once I get to this final phase, I'm a little rougher with the hair because I want to start building that volume. Yeah, and I don't know how to say your username. Boone said I could try a silk scrunchie, but I would also try a treatment mask. It sounds like your hair is a little bit angry with you. I would clarify your hair, and I would try a treatment mask, a moisture treatment mask, not protein. Well, you might need protein. I don't know. Without seeing and feeling your hair, I'm not sure. So next time you get your haircut, ask your hairstylist what kind of treatment mask they would recommend for your hair. Because it sounds like your hair needs a mask. And I would, guys, I'm gonna go on record and say, if you're going to bother doing a treatment mask, it's one of those things that a lot of the ones at the drugstore are not very effective. I have yet to have someone come into the salon and say they've been doing treatment masks from the drugstore and have really healthy hair. I'm sure there is a treatment mask that is an exception to that, but I have not come across it yet. So if you know of one, let me know. But definitely not the Shea Moisture ones. They are drying your hair out, if anything. Yeah. So I'm really just like kind of shaking everything out. That's for sure the one I have from the drugstore from Not Your Mother's is not it. Yeah. Yep. I'll be honest, like I'm a baby stylist, guys. And this is one of the first like really high quality treatment masks. I used to use the Kerastase one years ago and I really liked it. And then I got on the bandwagon of using other ones. This is the first time I'm back on salon ones, and I'm really noticing a difference. Is there a brand or brands you recommend for treatment masks? Really love the Living Proof ones. They're incredible. They are expensive, but remember, a treatment mask, other than while you're immediately healing damage, when you might use it once a week, but once you get past like a month or 6 weeks of using it once a week, you're gonna switch to using it once a month. This is not like a styling product that you're gonna use it twice a week always, right? It's eventually you're really gonna tone down how much you're using it. So it's kind of an investment in the health of your hair, because the healthier your hair is, the easier it's gonna be to style. Inner Sense has really nice masks. So excited I was able to get the 2 products from you last live. Oh, amazing. Okay. So I'm just going to now, actually I might just leave it. Because this is my day 1 hair, I typically like a little bit more. Okay, so my hair wasn't quite as wet as I wanted it to be during the styling step, and I can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit more frizz than I like. See if I can turn this light up. A little bit more frizz than I like through here, but overall, I'm very happy with it. The exact name of this mask is the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day. If you want to support my salon absolutely sells it online. If you're in the Ottawa area, you can order it online and come pick it up in the salon, so you don't have to pay for shipping. Otherwise, I'm sure you can find it somewhere else, but Living Proof Perfect Hair Day. Hi, Shay. Avita Botanical Repair is a great mask, Rhoda says. Thank you, Nicole. Yeah, I think my hair came out fabulous too. Can we talk about my haircut? Also, I tried to straighten my blowout after I did a blowout the other day. This haircut cannot be straightened. It just cannot. The layers are too short. It looks not good straightened. Which surprised me, because up until now, every curly cut I've had was a little bit longer and could absolutely be straightened, but not this one. It's too short and the layers are too dramatic. So anyways, that was interesting. Sarah, how are you? So anyways, I'm very excited for my day 2 hair. Rhoda, your hair screams healthy, beautiful. It is so much healthier. This mask I'm obsessed with. I've been doing it. I've been doing the damn thing. I was really sleeping on treatment masks. Sarah, if you're still here, what's your favorite 1 or 2 treatment masks right now? I know obviously it depends on what you're treating, but let's say your favorite moisture mask for fine or fine medium hair. Yes, so the Living Proof is the Perfect Hair Day weightless mask. If anybody doesn't already know, Sarah did my hair. Is that what your account is? Sarah did my hair is an amazing stylist. I believe she's based in the Boston area. She's a curly hair specialist. Also does amazing color and has won a ton of awards. I got to meet her at CurlyCon last year. But if you're in the Boston area or even close by to that, like within a few hours, and are looking for a stylist, I know we have a couple of people from the US. She's definitely somebody that would be worth traveling to go see. And I think she owns a one studio salon. So she kind of owns her own, kind of get set up there, which is awesome. Okay guys, we just hit 90 minutes. Not bad. I feel like lately we've been really rolling into this 90-minute lineup for my lives. And I feel like that's a good stopping point. Unless anybody has any other questions, we're gonna wrap it up there. I go live every single Wednesday at 7:15 a.m. I do post my recorded lives to Instagram and YouTube. So if you just joined, I don't know Sarah's salon's name, but her social media is Sarah Did My Hair, and she's in the Boston area, so you should be able to find her pretty easily. And she was a speaker at CurlyCon. She was teaching a curly cut method, probably on social media. I know it's Sarah did my .hair on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way to find her if you are looking for a stylist. And I want to say she's in the Boston area. Oh, thank you. Okay guys, again, my name's Gal. I'm a hairstylist. I work in a curly hair salon. If you're looking to book an appointment, you can always send me a DM. And otherwise, I go live every single Wednesday at 7:15. Okay? And otherwise, I go live every single Wednesday at 7:15. Okay? I love you all. I love you all.